all of it today, but let me tell you a little bit more about him. He brings the gift of conscious use of sound and music as tools and vehicles to heal, empower, and shift personal vibration. So when you're in the room with him, your vibration is going to be enlivened and enriched. And so if there's something in your life that needs healing or transforming, just be swept up in what's happening here today. His music activities are intended to be in alignment with the integrity of humankind. He is an acoustic guitarist, keyboardist, and percussionist, raised on folk music, world music, chant, sacred music, and rock and roll. All of his creations support compassion, wholeness, personal spiritual evolution, and the manifestation of planetary oneness, which we need right now, don't we? We're affirming. We don't need it. We're affirming it's being released. His original compositions have been powerful resources for many in the New Thought movement for 25 years. Longer than that, right? Maybe 40 years. No, a long time.
You got me thinking now.
Yeah, I know. Well, I've known you more than 25 years. No matter the age, music impacts. And music that has been intended to heal and empower impacts on multi-levels and in multi-dimensions. And I can't emphasize enough this morning how if you just let your heart be open and your mind be open to the waves of vibrational music that'll happen in here today, you'll be blessed. Mark will have CDs of his music for sale in Fellowship in Manning Hall at the conclusion of the service, because you may want to take some home with you. So let's give a warm Unity of Auburn welcome to Mark Stanton Welch.
Wait, is that the title I'm supposed to do today? Oh, gosh. So I just came from, like I said, youth camp, and I got a night of sleep, sort of, on Friday night. Yeah, and I was on the beautiful leather couch in the minister's office, which was like, yeah, I'm at the palace. The only trouble is it was a seating couch, and it had the back that kind of went like that. And it was just wide enough to lay sideways. And then through the evening and the night, I found myself nearer and nearer to the floor. So my energy now is based upon what I didn't receive in that particular night. So I'm excited about what's going to happen. And on the other hand, I have no idea what's going to happen, which is the perfect place for us to be spontaneous. And for your energy to open up and feed me guidance to support, because I have over-prepared. I taught elementary school for many years, and so you always have a little more than you need, because you never know. And so here we are. But to get down to the bottom line, like Cherie said, you have all your answers. Your frequency is so magnificent and so complete. The only challenge is we forgot that. So at the point of incarnation, when we came in and went, I'm here, we left behind an awareness. And part of our time on this planet, in my experience and my understanding, is to remember the truth of our being, which is why unity is so potent, because it keeps reminding us with messages. You can do what you want with the message. Sometimes it's hard to feel like I'm an unlimited being. Well, yay. Then that's the invitation to step into it. And this is where music, where spoken word, where opportunities to interface give us the opportunity to activate that deeper truth within us to show up. So, how are we going to do that this morning? Well, you've already seen a piece of it. So it's going to be a combination of some snippets of songs I've written. It's going to be some little bit of reading that I'm going to do because I think it's useful to trigger your own remembering. We're going to interact and face in the songs, and then I'm going to suggest some words that you can speak back. So by the time we are done, It is my intention and my knowing that we will be at a higher vibration by the time we leave this room. And the beauty of these times, it won't go away. It will continue to do the work to nourish you on many, many levels. There's a new world, it's rising straight from the old ways. That's not surprising. Straight through these hearts that have been opened, I feel the change, I feel it growing. And from the separation, no connection, isolated world, I feel the energy that's changing, realigning the vibration to open and connect me to the world. I'm talking to you, can you feel it? Can you taste it? Let it all go. Time to embrace it. Straight through the heart, let it move. You get the picture. So let yourself remember that we are in pretty profound, special times. And as I look around the room and I see who is here, from the young ones, from these new vibrations, to those of us who have been here for just a little longer, we see we've all served a very, very high purpose, personally and collectively. And so we're getting to see how our within is so critical because it shows up in the without. It shows up out there. So it's my intent to eventually reach the point where I talk about our connection with the earth and the way the seasons have unfolded to give us the perfect template to remember who we are, year after year after year, cycle after cycle. So just a brief statement here. And again, this is just all my thinking about this. I'm not saying any of this is gospel. But I'm going to read something that says 2020 started off as a year of bringing balance to life. Yeah. It's in the numbers, as they say. It was a 4. But this was not the kind of balance that likely anyone had in mind. This is a force feed redirect happening at lightning speed in an unpredictable moment-by-moment wash that no living human can really escape. Yay. The energetic impact of this much significant change alone is monumental. That does not even take into account the personal process that each human has had to navigate and to experience. It is, in the favorite word of those 2020 years, unprecedented. So being woken up by a mysterious virus that stops the facade of human life in its tracks and ushers everyone behind their own closed doors to think about it. That's actually a timely celestial intervention, so to speak. Humanity, daily life, has really reached a crossroads between what I am and what I was taught to think I am. And in my opinion, each one of us 6 billion plus are going to have to face the mirror and reconnect with the long-lost truth of who we truly are. When I crossed the border in Arizona heading home from a tour at the end of March, or maybe it was February, in 2020, I was concerned that I wouldn't make it across the border. It was going to be closed. There was rumors that California was going to shut down at the borders. And I was heading on Highway 40, and I had to get through Needles, California. What a perfect place to put up a border, a block. So I'm just beelining through the night, obviously going faster than is humanly safe, because I wanted to get home. And I can feel that. I remember that yearning that started initially out of fear, but then turned into, I'm going home. So, of course, I got to Needles, completely open. They asked if I had any apples or something, and I said no. And then I'm home free. Now, I've lived alone for a long, long time. That's my creation space. So being told you got to stay at home was like, okay, whatever. But you and I both know, all of us know, it was different. Because the vibration that was there was forcing me, and I knew right away I had to stop ignoring the image in the mirror. I thought I knew who I was, and I had a good idea. So it's like, why, Mark, do you keep using your high school photo? It's time to take out the camera and do a bunch of, hey man, love you. It's time to start doing a bunch of selfies. You know that thing that irritates so many of us about the youth, always? I had to learn to do that again. I was given an assignment to write 33. Why that number came, I don't know. 33 songs about my experience of staying in place. Yes, I had an assignment. As I started to write the music, it began to interface with a deeper memory of who I truly am, and the stuff started to fall apart. And then I remembered a song I'd written a long time ago. The time I first left the comfort of Unity of San Luis Obispo and headed out across the prairie, it seemed like, up to a former minister's place in Missoula, Montana. For some reason, I was thinking I wasn't going to make it. Something was going to happen. I'm taking my music out, and somebody's going to do something in a gas station along the way. I don't know what's going to happen. So I needed a mantra. And I just said, well, no matter what, I'll be okay. And it worked. Because here I am today. So the spirit of right now is to know without hesitation it's all going to be just fine. It may be bumpy, as we have seen, but let me just say this, and it's just a piece of a song. It's somewhere and it's sometime. It's an unfamiliar trail, a hope for a destination, a half-lived fairy tale, and I'm on the road, and the feeling lights my way. No matter what unfolds, I'll be okay. And the highway pulls me onward. Oh, I'm beckoned by the moon. Well, there's an answer in here somewhere. You know, everything's a clue. And I'm on my way. And though a part of me just kicks and screams to stay, well, I know, come on together, no matter what, I'll be okay. And so, of course, that held out, because I was affirming it with all my being that it would be okay. Now, what okay meant was a different story along the road. I had to learn to maybe adapt a little bit. So, let's remind ourselves of something. Now, I just have so many notes to pull from, and who knows what's going to happen, but I'm going to invite you to speak after me these words that, as you know, have suddenly disappeared on the papers. Okay, I get it. All right. I am designed for perfect health. Unwavering abundance. With a host of dimensional tools and powers to live in oneness with all of life. I am destined to fully wake up in my own time, in accordance with my free will, choices, to consciously live my aligned vibration as a unique frequency in a world that is completely of my own design. I am unlimited, unequivocally loved, unequivocally cherished, filled with incessant wonder and imagination, fully capable of complete self-care and unconditional love through my self-cleansing, self-repairing, energetic bodies. And that's the truth. Okay, so we let those words ring. The head doesn't need to do anything with that. It's the cells that go. It's like you're a little one playing in the yard and something is said and you go, because you know it's true. And it comes. See, this is the beauty of these times. As we separate from the mind needing to figure it out, we remember we have the rest of this organism to call upon as a resource. And in these times, that seems to be what's happening. So let me see what he planned before he lost his place. Oh no, my iPad went dark. What's my code? The first thing to do, as we've already started, is to remind ourselves of the deeper truth of our being. And this is where unity has served so much along the way. Now, when I first started in '85 in San Luis Obispo and walked in and was reminded that this was the coolest spiritual place to be, I bought into the idea, and I'm so glad I did. And I was invited to do something because I joined the day I got there. They were doing New Member Sunday. Well, why not? Let's go. Let's go. And I said, I'll do music. Now, I'd already been doing music all over San Luis Obispo and playing in clubs and everything, so this was a very safe place for me to be, although it wasn't necessarily so. I went home and committed to writing a song and presenting it 1 month from that day. So I went home and I got out I sat at my mother's spinet piano that she had given to me that was kind of like a barroom piano because it was so out of tune, but it had a feel. It had a memory in it of where she would sit around and she would push down the sustain pedal so that the notes would ring out, and she'd play only the black notes. And it was the harmonic minor scale that just goes right to the heart chakra. And it opens, and it cleanses, and it clears. And I didn't know how much she needed all of that. Neither did she. But here it was on that day, sitting at my house. And I went, okay, I don't play piano, but let's see what happens. So I wrote. I'm going to share a piece of the song, not that one, and I'm not sure why I brought that up, but it's one that did come eventually. We were born perfect in every way, just beaming with golden light, and blessed with I can you remember? You were born filled with your holy plan. It is not lost to you. Well, it's waiting inside. But what keeps us cradling all these beliefs in our own limitations? What keeps us circling, yes, below what we are? And what keeps us looking on while life just whirls all around us? What keeps us living no when we're made to be yes? So that was 1998. You remember those years. We were heading for the second of the major cataclysmic events, which was going to happen in 2000 when the computers were going to eat us up. That millennial moment when we went, oh, should I be at the computer at 11:59 and 49 seconds? Something may happen. And of course, nothing happened. Except we had more testimony about our personal presence and power to step over another line. And very much like 1987, when things happened. I don't know if you remember the harmonic convergence in 1987. Were any of you like far out New Agers out there doing things like that? People were called to go to the power spots around the country, around the world. I went up to Mount Shasta. Perfect power spot. Because when I was growing up, my mother, that very one who played the piano that way, had what was called the I Am Discourses, sitting these little pamphlets on the table. And as a little boy, I learned to read through those things. And they reminded me of the beings, the Lemurian energy that ended up in Mount Shasta. So it brought higher frequency writings. And so that's what I was kind of raised on, along with Dick and Jane and some of the other great tomes of the time. You know that. So here I was, showing up with 2,000 other people, and we sat on the side of the mountain and looked at one another and said, why are we here? And they did. And then they said, oh, did you see the guy? He's been drumming on one leg for 22 hours. No. We all run over, and there he is. Yeah. Did you see the angel on the TV? No. It's downtown. Remember the old black and whites, when you turn them off, they would go, pew! That light, it would go like that and then disappear into the gosh knows what, right? So we went down, and this one had frozen in the shape of an angel. Swear. All right, time to go home. All we did, and around the world, at Ayers Rock and in Australia and other places, holy spots around the world, people showed up. That's all that was needed at that time, was just to go, okay, I'm here, use me. Now, I had learned enough unity by then, but I started to be a New Age guy, if you know what I'm talking about. So I started to use a little bit to be holier than those around me. And I got humbled all the time. But I kept reminding myself, oh, yeah, well, everything's going to be, you know what I mean? So my own witnessing of self had to happen. And that came in 2012. Well, at night, I gathered people, but there were probably 70 people came in because we were thinking, this is the one, we're going to vaporize together. So here we were doing all this high frequency stuff, dancing, singing, doing all these things, speaking words. And 11:59 came. So we just created a circle and held hands. And we took a breath and waited for, who knows? And then at midnight and at 12 o'clock and 1 second, we opened our eyes and went, all right, well, good night. Thanks for coming in. And then we ushered off into our lives in the new frequency. And we had to show up, if we wanted to, in the form of the new frequency that spoke to us. And things were going great. And so we needed to get more openings. The age of Aquarius began in 2012. It actually crossed over. And so the unification of the male and female vibration was the new norm, as promised by the celestial history. Before that, I'm just going all over the place here, but I'm hoping this must have some usefulness here, because in the all along, every 2,500 years, the male energy would be strong, and then it'd cross over like a sine wave for another 2,500 years, where the female energy was strong. And in some of those histories, there was and then there was back to you, and then and then And this was a time, as that last Piscean time ended, when Aquarius ushered in the time of the blending and the unification of the whole being, which is what we're beginning to navigate. And why, in my opinion, 2020 and the form that came was ushered in, because we were kind of stumbling along the way. So it was time to take stock. By taking stock, it meant I had to look in the mirror. I don't know what you did with the very first days or for the next 3 years, but what I was called to do was to get down and dirty with who I was. In other words, to find out who I was, what was legit, what needed to be jettisoned, what needed to be released. So I go back to songs. We were born perfect in every way. I rediscovered a template of I am that I am expressing as me, and it lived within me and would show itself. By the way, I have no sense of time, so let me know when, if things are like... I had to get in touch with that part of me. And so that's what I did day after day. And I had a mirror in the house that I would never pay attention. I'd walk by and just, you know, like something's there and it's been there for so long you never look at it, like a picture. And then one day I looked over it as I walked by, and it was like there was somebody in there looking like that, and it was me. So I started to stop and I started to look in these eyes. And you know, the first thing, when you start to really see all the stuff that was holding the old energy in place starts to clear. It starts to reveal. And the tears just fell and fell and fell. And it wasn't just little drips. It was the rivers that would come down, and they would, if you follow them, they go down over the chin line, right into here, and then they head south. They head south to the belly button, because a belly button is a crucible where the energy of the woundings is held at the sacral chakra. So it was this yearning for the cleansing and the wash that would occur. And so the source kept occurring and kept inviting me to keep digging. I mean, allowing. It felt like digging, but soon it became allowing. And all along, these beautiful things I had learned in unity were beginning to kind of make sense, but still, the routines that I had already learned and survived through, they were showing themselves mightily. So, I have my past, I've got my baggage, I have a story etched in my hands. To it I cling, yes, and I let it define me. But you and I know this is not who I am. No, not who I am. The I that you see, that's not the I that is me. The I that is me, well, there's an angel of love. Yeah, the I that is me, yes, truly believes that he will be free someday, or someday. 1997, still around that time of opening up. I'm a double Virgo. I don't know if you're into astrology or whatever, you know that's a real earth sign. So I am solid on the earth. I have to be, because that's my source. I didn't know anything about why. I just knew that I loved being on the earth. Based upon what occurred to me in growing up, I needed to be on the earth. I needed to lay there and let all the things that occurred just sort of be pulled in. And then I always felt better. And then I got up and then went about my 6, 7-year-old business. I wanted to make sure that I got to the season of within. All this stuff that is led up is basically saying what is happening is a cooperative effort for the universe to say, it's time. It's time for you to remember you. Hallelujah for everything that has occurred. Hallelujah for the forms of your life up to this moment. We could sit around and talk for days about the woundings, which is not a bad idea. But we don't get caught in them. We release. We let go. And this is where the music comes in. And this is where the earth comes in. My roots go down into the earth. They rise like power from the earth. My spirit flows from heaven's light, like flowers falling from the sky. Yeah, connected. When I remembered that my source would come up through the left foot, up the leg, and just fill me up with earth energy to help clear, I remembered that's my design. So why not remember our personal template, which is another reason to go home and you stay in place until you remember. You do that. Remember the push to have normal again? Things just aren't normal. And I was there. And then I realized that normal held all the patterns that kept things in place for me. I could not find normal again for myself. And so it showed up on the outside. The earth goes round and round and round in these cycles. We, as humans on this earth, are a part of that cycle. It is way more magnificent than many realize. So let me just read one more thing here. I know I'm getting close to time, is it? Close, okay. Well, somebody stand up and say, you need to stop now. That will be interesting, I'll tell you. Okay. And then I'll go back to high school. But nevertheless, the earth is our ally, manifested to provide the perfect environment with all the resources necessary for life to thrive. As humans, we are intertwined and actually unified with the Earth Mother Gaia, who resonates our inner state by forming our frequency energetic into the physical inner life begets outer life. Okay, whatever all that means, it means that I'm connected. Energetically, we're provided with an endless higher vibration to assist our moments of living by funneling power into us and merging with our own energetic anatomy to keep us clean and purring in the frequencies we are designed to live in. We are equipped to download the residue into the earth, out the right side, where it simply is recycled as energy. Earth doesn't care what it is. Thank you very much. Here, now take this. And stay clear and stay clean. That's why Rotor-Rooter came along and that great song that we used to hear. Because it's a cleansing process that is part of the design. Unless we resist and form a normal around it that says, I'm not going there. Life on Earth is about cycles that are somewhat based on the definition of the year. That was it? Close. Okay. Okay. The cycles, okay, let's get to fall, because it is a season of within. If I'm in a symbiotic relationship with the earth, it's giving me year after year the opportunity to work my vibration during the season. You know how it feels in fall. Fall kind of is cozy. It pulls us in. It gives us the reminder that there is something on the inside. If you look at the way nature does its dance from the beginning of fall into the doorstep of winter, you see the colors that begin to show up and descend into the bare trees. The green is my heart area. The orange is my solar plexus. The yellow is solar plexus, down to the orange, and then down to the root, which is the red. You've seen the trees. I saw them driving over when we came. Everywhere. The colors are reminding me to go home. When I go home, I have the opportunity to release anything that is not of the aligned vibration of these times. And you know, with all the assistance we've got, all we need to do is pay attention. So when I get a little thing going on in the body, I go there. And if it's aligned with one of the chakras, I kind of know what it's about. And I don't need to do it or care. I just look at it, and then I give permission for it to move. And sometimes it comes out as, and sometimes it comes out as, and sometimes it's just, there's a wisdom in the body releasing. My invitation today is when you walk out and you connect with nature, which is as reliable as the next breath, you use it because it's the gift. It gives it to you and says, here, I love you so much. I love you so much that it's time to let it go. So let's end with a tune. Because we live in a world where fear is kind of a commodity. You know, if we keep them afraid, we'll be able to blah, 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 blah. It's kind of true. I could diagram that sentence and give a lot of examples. And I could live there, or I could remember. I am fearless in the fog. Come on. I am fearless in the fog. Let's do it again. I am fearless in the fog. And one more. I am fearless in the fog of life. For I am light. I am. Come on, I am light. I am light. I am. So I shine. And so I shine. Repeat after me, we're almost done. In this light, I always live. Come on. In this light, I always live. I receive love, it's love I give. I receive love, it's love I give. Always moving in the flow. Always moving in the flow. My light reveals the way to go. My light reveals the way to go. For in this moment, here I am. In this moment, here I am. My golden song is yes, I can. My golden song is yes, I can. So if it's fog or if it's clear, if it's fog or if it's clear, the light I am, the light I am, the light I am, the light I am dispels all fear. Because I am fearless in the fog. No matter what. That's it. It goes, I am fearless in the fog. I am fearless in the fog of life. For I am light. I am. So I shine. And so I shine. So I shine. We are well supported. We are well taken care of as we allow it. So is there a choice anymore? Allow it. And be it. And it reveals itself in the next moment. Thank you for having me here. Woo!
Thank you, Mark. Beautiful. We're shining. So we're going to have a time of meditation to take all of those beautiful words and song and affirmations into our own being. And as Mark invited us, let's take a couple of deep breaths in and align yourself with the light. Breathe in from top of your head and see that light move down over your face, your neck, your chest, your abdomen, your lower body, down the fronts of your legs, your knees, your shins, your ankles, your feet. Connect with the earth there, with the soles of your feet. And then let the energy curve around on the backs of your heels, the backs of your legs, your buttocks, your spine, your back, your shoulder blades, your neck, top of your head. Just let yourself be cocooned in spirit. Cocooned in spirit. And feel that energy then. It's pervasive. It's not coming into you from outside. It is, but it's also within you, oozing out into the reality of your being. And it's all healing. So envision that light that Mark sang about, that we affirmed with him, as a golden orb in front of you. Maybe shape it into a funnel at the top of your head to allow divine mind, to allow the universal Christ consciousness, the great I Am, to download in you all that you need for your eternal ongoing. Let it release its light into the cells of your body, quickening your vibration. See it move down, down, down into you. See any health issue absolutely dissolved by its presence. Imagine it flowing into your heart in all its fullness. And if there's any disharmony, any relationship concern, see it healing and vibrating, pulsating, pure love. And everything false dissolves away. And see that light energy move into your back pocket where your wallet is, maybe into your purse, into your bank account, where substance and abundance flow in all the goodness of your life, not just the prosperity. And see that light enriching you, enriching your life and your possessions, which are here today and gone tomorrow. That you bless them and let them bless you. And let the light fill your eyes so you see with pure vision and understanding for your life, your loved ones, and especially our world right now. Today I allow God to form me into a vessel of good. You already are good. You are good. But you're taking dominion of your spirit to shape and form your life by allowing spirit to form you. You don't have to figure it out. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to create the solutions. Just be. Today I allow God to form me. Let's affirm it. Today I allow God to form me. Christ is the light of my mind. Illumined are my thoughts. The universal Christ consciousness, that powerful vibration, is the love in my heart. Compassionate are my words. The Spirit of Christ is the strength in my hands and the strength in my heart. Courageous and helpful are my actions. The Spirit of Christ within is the power in my legs that connects with the power of the earth. And effortlessly I walk in spirit. The Spirit of Christ is the understanding in my eyes. Purity is my vision. So take a few moments to see yourself walking upon the earth, allowing the rootedness of the earth to come up through you, and the funnel at the top of your head with the universal Christ consciousness to descend into you. And let those two vibrations meet in your heart. And there, in a moment of silence, again we affirm, I allow God to form me. Together, I allow God to form me. I allow God to form me. I let go and let God be God in me, through me, as me. I make a difference in the world by the very vibration that I carry, that I radiate. And we come away today from our time of prayer with an understanding, a knowing we are God's instruments. We open our prayer time to turning our attention to those we love, our family, our friends, anyone you especially wish to bless in this time of prayer. We speak a word for them, that you allow God to form you. For others, together, you allow God to form you. And that outcome is magnificent, just as you are magnificent. God is with you and within you, your wisdom, your courage, your strength. And as you hold to this with unshakable strength, everything in your life is transformed. And for this time of remembering, we are grateful. And as you gently let your attention come back to this room, this time, this place, we give thanks for everything. And so it is. Together we all say, Amen.